Today we will discuss about curvilinear coordinates. In our previous classes we learned that vectors are abstract concept and we can attach a coordinate system to get its physical meaning, right? There we mentioned about Cartesian coordinate system. So if you want to specify a point in space, you need a coordinate system. For example, we are familiar with the Cartesian coordinate system. This is the Cartesian coordinate system. Here, YZ plane is on this board itself. This board lies on YZ plane and x-axis is pointing outward. Okay, we can show this like this. Now, suppose there is a point P which we want to specify its position. Okay, for that, suppose this is the point P. P is given by x, y and z. Okay, x, y and z specify the point P in this space. Okay, instead of this Cartesian coordinate system, we can use spherical coordinates. If the physical system has some symmetry, we can make use of the symmetry to analyze the system easily. If the system has some spherical symmetry, it is always easy to handle with spherical coordinates. Okay, so we want to learn about spherical coordinates. Okay. Spherical coordinates. So, r, theta and phi are the three variables used in this coordinate system. So, you can specify the position of point P in this space either using r, theta and phi or using x, y, z. That means you can specify the position of point P either using spherical coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so we have to mention what is this r, theta and phi. R is the position vector of the point P. We already learned that the vector drawn from origin to the point P is called its position vector, right? So here this distance from the origin to the point P is called vector R. Okay, so this distance is called R. Here this distance is called R. It points along this direction. R cap is along this direction. Okay, now the angle down from the z axis to this vector, this angle is called polar angle theta. Okay, polar angle theta. Now we have the third coordinate phi. Okay, this phi is lying in this plane. Okay, here we can just project this vector to this plane. This is r sine theta. Okay, then this angle is called phi. This angle is called phi azimuth angle. This is called polar angle. Okay, so in spherical polar coordinate system, we have three coordinates r, theta and phi. Here r is the radial distance, that is the distance from the origin to the position of the point P. This distance is called r. Now angle theta is defined from the z axis to the vector r. This angle is called polar angle. And this projection of this r on this xy plane is given by this r sin theta, and the angle between the x coordinates to this projection is called azimuthal angle phi. Okay. This spherical coordinate system is also orthogonal coordinate system. That means all the three basis vectors are mutually orthogonal. Okay. Here we mentioned that in this coordinate system, in order to specify a point in three-dimensional space, we need three mutually perpendicular variables. Okay. Here they are r, theta and phi. The notation itself you can see that one is the radial distance dimension, these two are angles. Okay. This r is called the distance from the origin to the point P. It is actually the position vector r. At the same time, this theta is called the polar angle theta, and phi is called the azimuthal angle. Here you can see that this vector, the projection of this vector r on the xy plane is given here as r sin theta. Okay, this angle between this x-axis to this r sin theta is called azimuthal angle. So here, what are the three orthogonal vectors or basis vectors? R cap, theta cap and phi cap. These are the three unit vectors in spherical coordinate system. In the Cartesian coordinate system, Cartesian coordinates, we have x cap, y cap and z cap. At the same time, in spherical coordinate system, we have r cap, theta cap and phi cap. Okay. So, either we can use Cartesian coordinate system or spherical coordinate system depending on the symmetry of our system. Okay, that means we can convert the components of a vector in Cartesian coordinate system to its corresponding components in spherical polar coordinate system. Is it clear? Okay, for example, suppose we have a vector A. Okay, consider a vector A. Then this vector A is an abstract quantity. We can take its components by attaching a coordinate system to this vector. Okay? If you use the Cartesian coordinate system, you can write this vector A as Ax x cap plus Ay y cap plus Az z cap. Okay? We already learned about this. Vector A is an abstract quantity. You can take its components if you use a particular coordinate system. In three-dimensional space, you can use Cartesian coordinate system with unit vectors x cap, y cap and z cap and its corresponding components Ax, Ay and Az. Okay? You can express the same vector A using spherical coordinates. Right? That means you can write this vector A such that r cap plus A theta cap plus A phi cap. Okay? A phi cap. These two representations are same. These are represent the same vector A, either in Cartesian coordinate system or in spherical polar coordinate system. This representation is in Cartesian coordinate system. This one is in spherical coordinate system. Okay. Here, this component AR is called radial component of the vector. Theta is called polar component of the vector. A phi is called azimuthal component of the vector. Okay. AR radial component. Similarly, A theta polar component. Similarly, A phi azimuthal component. Okay. You can use these components to represent the same vector A in spherical coordinates. These r cap, theta cap and phi cap are mutually perpendicular. Spherical coordinate system is orthogonal. Okay, that means r cap is points along radial direction. Each variable is points along the direction where it increases. Okay, so if this is the vector r cap points along this direction. In this context, I can write here. Okay, this is the point. Okay, in this context, r cap is along this direction. Okay, this is r cap. Because r increases along this direction. Now what about theta? We already defined theta angle down from z axis to here. So theta increases along this direction. Okay, so theta increases along this direction. This is theta cap. Now what about phi cap? Phi cap is along the direction phi increases. Phi cap is along this direction phi increases. That means phi is along this direction. Phi cap. Okay. So these three vectors are mutually perpendicular, right? R cross theta, that means if this is the r cap, this is the theta cap, then r cross theta gives you phi cap. Okay, these are the mutually perpendicular vectors. If this is r cap, this is theta cap, this points along the direction of phi cap. Okay. So this spherical coordinate system is orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. We have three unit vectors, r cap, theta cap and phi cap. For a physical system, we can use either Cartesian coordinate system or spherical coordinate system. Depending on the symmetry of the system, we can select spherical or Cartesian system. Okay. This makes the analysis of the system more easy. So, we can find out the relation between this Cartesian coordinate system and the spherical coordinate system. Okay, so now we can already see the expression here. This is vector r and this is r sin theta. Okay. expression, you can write that this distance is given by r sin theta. Okay, is it clear? Because this is vector r, this angle is theta, so its projection on this plane is given by r sin theta. Okay, so now the x component, x is equal to, this is x. X is equal to r sin theta cos phi, right? You can find out from here itself. R sin theta cos phi. Similarly, the y component equal to r sin theta sin phi. Okay, r sin theta sin phi. This is r sin theta. So this component is r sin theta sin phi. This is phi. Okay. Z is equal to, Z is this distance, right? So Z is equal to r cos theta. These are the connection between the Cartesian coordinates and the spherical polar coordinates. Okay? From the geometry of the figure itself you can find out. Because we already found that this is r, this is theta and this is angle phi. So from this you can write x equal to r sin theta cos phi, y equal to r sin theta sin phi, and z equal to r cos theta. Okay, similarly you can find out the inverse relations also. The inverse relations, that is r. How can you find out r? If you squaring and adding these three equations, what you get? R square. You get here x square plus y square gives you x square plus y square, r square sin square theta, plus z square, r square itself. So you can write this r square as x square plus y square plus z square. Similarly, if you divide these two equations, y by x gives you tan phi, right? That means tan phi equal to y by x. Similarly, now you can find out this theta, relationship with theta from here itself, cos theta. Cos theta equal to z by r. What is z by r? R is given by this expression. So you will write here z is equal to root of x square plus y square plus z square. Right? So cos theta equal to z by r, z by root of x square plus y square plus z square. These are the inverse relationship. Okay, either you can use this expression or this expression to convert the coordinate system mutually. If you know the components in a Cartesian system, you can find out corresponding components in spherical polar system and vice versa. Okay, these are the relation between Cartesian system and spherical coordinate system. So from the definition itself, we can see that the unit vectors in these two coordinate systems can be expressed in terms of the others. For example, r cap in spherical coordinate system is a function of x, y and z components. That means you can write this r cap as along x cap, along y cap and along z cap. we can discuss about its basis vectors, right? So, in Cartesian system, the basis vectors are x cap, y cap and z cap. Okay? Basis vectors. Basis vectors are x cap, y cap and z cap. Okay? That means using these three vectors, you can represent any vector in this Cartesian coordinate system. Okay? Similarly, in spherical coordinates, the basis vectors are r cap, theta cap and phi cap. Okay? If it is in Cartesian system, x cap, y cap and z cap. If it is in spherical system, it is r cap, theta cap and phi cap. Now, very easy to imagine this in Cartesian system, because we already mentioned that x cap is along x direction, y cap is along y direction and z cap is along z direction. That means as z increases, x is along the increment of x direction, y is along the increment of y direction, y component. Okay? Similarly, here r cap points along the increase of the radial component. Okay, so r cap is always radially outward. If it is in this point, it is along this direction. If this radial vector is along this direction, r cap is along this z cap. If it is along this direction, it is along this direction. Okay? So, r cap is always pointing along the radial direction, radially outward. So, in this context, it is a tough situation to imagine the direction of r cap comparing with this one. Here, all these directions are fixed. At the same time, if you mention the r cap or unit vector along the radial direction, you have to specify about which point. If you find out r cap with respect to this point, it is along this direction. If you want to mention r cap with respect to this point, it is along this direction. That is the difference between the basis vectors in spherical coordinate system and the basis vectors in Cartesian coordinate system. That means here the basis vectors are actually the functions of position. Okay? These basis vectors are functions of position. Okay? The peculiarity of spherical coordinates. Basis vectors are functions of position. So, if you want to integrate this or differentiate this basis vector, you can't treat it as a constant. Remember the point. If you want to do this in the case of Cartesian basis vectors, there is no problem for doing this. If you want to find out the differential of x cap, you can show that this is 0. Differential of x cap is 0 because all these are constant. At the same time, in the case of this r cap, theta cap and phi cap, these are unit vectors, but these are functions of position. R cap, theta cap and phi cap are functions of position. That means r cap function of theta and phi, theta cap is also a function of theta and phi, and phi cap is also a function of theta and phi. So what happens? You can never take out these r cap, theta cap and phi cap outside the integral or the differential, because these are functions of position. Okay. Now we can express the unit vectors or basis vectors spherical polar coordinates using basis vectors of Cartesian system. Okay, that means these are the basis vector spherical polar system: r cap, theta cap and phi cap, mutually perpendicular vectors. Similarly, in Cartesian system, x cap, y cap and z cap are mutually perpendicular vectors. So, we can express r cap in terms of basis vectors of Cartesian system. Similarly, theta cap in terms of basis vectors of Cartesian system. Okay, r cap, theta cap and phi cap in terms of basis vectors of Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so first we can express r cap. Here we see that vector r is this, r cap is pointing along this direction, or r cap is pointing radially outward. Okay, now the projection of this r cap in this plane, in this xy plane, is given by sin theta. For vector r it is r sin theta. For unit vector r cap it is simply sin theta. Okay, then the projection of r cap along this plane is sin theta, and its component along x direction is sin theta cos phi. Okay, so you can write here sin theta cos phi x cap plus. Next, y cap component sin theta sin phi, right? You can write here sin theta sin phi y cap plus. Next component is along z cap. The projection of r cap along z cap is given by cos theta z cap. Okay, cos theta z cap. This is the component of r cap along this x cap, y cap and z cap. Or you can represent unit vector r cap in Cartesian system using this representation. Okay. Similarly, theta cap. Theta cap is pointing along the direction of increment of theta, angle theta. That means, suppose this is the point P. This is angle theta, this is vector r. Okay, so this is angle theta. If you increase theta, that means if you rotate this vector, theta increases to theta plus d theta. Correspondingly, r cap changes its direction to here. Initially it is along this direction, and then after rotation it moves on to this direction. So there is change in direction of r cap with respect to the variation of the angle d theta. Okay, so theta cap is given by d r cap by d theta, right? D r cap by d theta gives us theta cap. Okay, this is equal to, you can differentiate this expression with respect to theta. Here you can see that this first expression gives you cos theta, cos theta, cos phi x cap plus, the next term is cos theta sin phi y cap plus cos theta. If you differentiate this gives you minus sin theta, right? Minus sin theta z cap. Okay, so theta cap is given by dou r cap by dou theta, which is you can find out by differentiating this expression with respect to theta. Okay, differential of sin theta is cos theta, cos phi itself cos theta cos phi x cap. When you move on to this term, differential of sin theta is cos theta, again cos theta sin phi y cap. When you move on to here, cos theta gives you minus sin theta z cap. Okay, you find out phi cap using r cap cross theta cap. Okay, that means you can write here x cap, y cap, z cap, and it's combines sin theta cos phi, sin theta sin phi cos theta. If you comes to this term, you can see that cos theta cos phi, cos theta sin phi, and 0. Sorry, minus sin theta. Okay, minus sin theta. If you find out this, what happens? This gives you minus sin square theta sin phi, then minus cos square theta sin phi. So you get here sin phi, minus sin phi. Okay? Minus sin phi x cap plus, in order to get this term y cap, you have to take this expression cos square theta cos phi plus sin square theta cos phi. So you get cos phi here, okay, cos phi y cap. Then for z cap, you have cos square theta cos phi. For z cap, you have cos theta sin theta cos phi sin phi. Similarly, cos theta sin theta cos phi sin phi. So you get here 0. So this is phi cap. So you can express r cap, theta cap, and phi cap in terms of Cartesian coordinates, unit vectors, using basis vectors of we can find out infinitesimal displacement. Infinitesimal direction is dl. We are very familiar with the expression itself. That means we need infinitesimal displacement vector dl. This is equal to dlr r cap plus dl theta theta cap plus dl phi phi cap. Infinitesimal displacement, we can find out infinitesimal displacements. Okay, so this infinitesimal displacement vector dl equal to dlr r cap plus dl theta theta cap plus dl phi phi cap. Okay, these are the infinitesimal displacement vectors. So we have to find out these components. What is dlr? dlr represents the infinitesimal change in displacement along the direction of radial vector. Okay, we can represent this by dr, just like we express the dx, dy, etc. Okay, so dlr is dr. Its dimension is the displacement dimension of displacement. Okay. Now, what about dl theta? We need dl theta. What is dl theta? dl theta is the infinitesimal displacement as theta varies. Right? Infinitesimal displacement as theta varies. So, I can show you here the diagram. That means, suppose this is the point P, this is vector R. Okay, now theta varies along this direction. So, variation in theta is given by this d theta. Okay. Then what is this displacement? What is the arc length of this displacement? This is r d theta. Is it clear? This displacement is r d theta, this displacement. So, dl theta is equal to r d theta. Okay. Now, what about dl phi? dl phi. So, for that, we can check this figure. For example, I can show here another one. This is showing dl theta. Okay, right here. dl theta equal to r d theta. Now, for dl phi, we can find out dl phi. Okay, for that, just show you just the points. This is point P and this is R. Okay, this is theta. Now, its projection is along this direction. This is R sin theta. Now, this angle is d phi. Phi is increases along this direction. Its increment is given by this d phi. Okay. Now, point is P is here. So, the corresponding increase in displacement is given by this expression. Right? Okay. This displacement is dl phi. dl phi. This displacement is dl phi. Oh, that is this given by in this expression. These are equal. Okay, so through a change in angle d phi, the displacement varies how much? R sin theta d phi. Right? R sin sine theta d phi. So you can write here dl phi equal to r sine theta d phi. These are the different infinitesimal displacement components. Using this, you can represent displacement vector, areal component, elementary areal component, elementary volume, etc. For example, the elementary volume, you can write elementary volume d tau, elementary volume d tau. In Cartesian system, you can write this as dx, dy, dz. Okay, here this d tau equal to dlr, dl theta into dl phi. Okay, what is dlr? dlr is dr. What about dl theta or d theta? What about dl phi or sin theta d phi or sin theta d phi? Okay, so elementary volume in spherical coordinates is given by r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. Okay, this is the elementary volume in spherical polar coordinates. In Cartesian system, you can write this as dx, dy, dz. In the case of spherical coordinate system, you can write this as r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. Similarly, you can write different areal components. That means dA, areal vector. If you treat areal vector along r cap, okay, along r cap means dl theta, dl phi, r cap. Because always areal vector is pointing normal to the surface. Okay, so dA cap along r cap means dl theta, dl phi, r cap. So what you get here? Here you get r square sin theta d theta d phi r cap. Okay, r square sin theta d theta d phi r cap. Similarly, you can write areal components along theta cap. Okay, if you want areal component along areal elementary area along theta cap direction, how can you write this? You can write this one as dA1. If you need dA2, you can this dA2. Suppose this area vector area is considered across this r theta components. Then what happens? This vector points along phi cap, right? So you can write here dlr, dl theta, phi cap. What is dlr? dr. What is dl theta? r d theta. So you get here r, dr, d theta, phi cap. Okay. find out elementary aerial vector along this theta cap. Here you write it as along phi cap, right? If you want it, you can write here, that is as dA3, elementary aerial vector dA3. It is given by dLr dL phi theta cap. Okay, this is equal to dLr is dr, dL phi is r sin theta d phi, r sin theta d phi theta cap. Oh, this is equal to r sin theta dr d phi theta cap. Okay, these are the elementary aerial vectors in spherical polar coordinates. If your aerial vector is pointing along r cap, it is given by this expression. If it is pointing along phi cap, it is given by this expression. If this aerial vector pointing along theta cap, it is given by this expression. Okay, these are all about elementary area. Okay. Now we can express the gradient operator in this spherical polar coordinate system. Okay, gradient operator, then using that its divergence and curl in this spherical polar coordinate system. Okay. Now we can express the gradient operator in spherical polar coordinate system. Okay, we already learned about gradient operator. Gradient operator in Cartesian system. This is very familiar to us. X cap dou by dou x plus y cap dou by dou z plus z cap. Sorry, here dou by dou z. This is the gradient operator in Cartesian coordinate system. Now we can express this operator in spherical polar coordinate system. Okay, here I put a subscript sp to represent this gradient operator in spherical polar coordinate system. Here you know that the unit vector r cap, in that case this part, this dou x is replaced by dou r, so r cap dou by dou r plus next unit vector is theta cap, polar unit vector along the increment of polar hybrid theta cap. In that context, this dou by dou by, this is transformed into dou by r dou theta, because we already find out that in this context the dl theta is given by r dou theta. Okay, plus phi cap along dou by dou l phi. Dou l phi means r sin theta dou phi. Okay, dou by r sin theta dou phi. This is the expression for gradient operator in spherical polar coordinate system. Okay, now what about divergence? So if you want to operate this gradient on a scalar function t, you can write t here like this. Similarly, if you want to find out divergence in spherical polar coordinate system, divergence in spherical polar, you can write the different differential operators using spherical polar coordinates. The first one is gradient operator. Here it is shown in Cartesian system. Using this operator we learned about divergence, curl, gradient, divergence and curl. Okay, now this gradient operator in Cartesian system can be written like this in spherical polar system. Okay, similarly using this operator in spherical polar system you can find out divergence and similarly curl like this. This is the expression for divergence and this is for the expression for curl. And the Laplacian operator is given by this expression. So you can write all differential vector differential operators in Cartesian system using spherical polar coordinate system. If our physical system has symmetry, spherical symmetry, it is always easier to use spherical coordinate system than Cartesian system. Okay, so in this lecture we learned about spherical coordinate system. Then we see that we have three coordinates r, theta and phi. R is pointing along the radially outward direction, theta along the increment of theta. Theta is the polar angle which measures from z-axis to the vector r, radial vector r. Okay. Similarly, another angle is phi cap. This is called azimuthal angle. It is measured from x-axis to the projection of radial vector r on the xy plane. Okay, so this curvilinear system, the spherical coordinate system is orthogonal, whose basis vectors are r cap, theta cap and phi cap. They are mutually perpendicular, so it is called orthogonal coordinate system. So you can represent r cap in terms of x cap, y cap and z cap. Similarly, in inverse also you can represent. In this lecture we express r cap, theta cap and phi cap in terms of x cap, y cap and z cap. Similarly, we learned about infinitesimal displacement vector and its radial component, polar component and azimuthal component. Then we discussed about elementary volume and elementary areal vectors. Finally, we extend all these concepts to differential operators, gradient, divergence, curl and Laplacian. Okay, so learn one